My parents found out that I have money, wants me to give it all to them. I made this account just to post this because they won't stop bugging me. Backstory. So, my parents disowned me for being an atheist. My family's very religious. They'll look at you like trash if you say that you don't believe in a god. Well, they kicked me out and didn't support me through college in my last year of college, and I haven't spoken to them for almost 3 years now. Just a few weeks ago, I got word from my cousin that my little sister got hospitalized due to dengue, so I went to visit her when she was about to be discharged. When I got there, it was just my sister in the room. I asked where my parents were, and she said that they were trying to raise funds for the hospital bill. Turns out, my parents' medical insurance didn't cover most of the hospital bill and left a large out-of-pocket sum of around 26,000 Philippine pesos. If there are any Filipinos out there, you know that this is a large amount already. Fortunately, I was able to save up a lot in this past year, so I went ahead and paid for it. When my parents came back, I told them that it's already been paid for and that we're just waiting for the discharge orders. The first question they ask is, why was I there and where did I get the money from? I explained that our cousin told me what happened and that I was saving money for my little sister's college. They didn't even thank me, and the next question they asked is how much money I had saved. I didn't give them the amount, but they insisted that I should give it to them since my sister is living with them. I told them no, and that I'll give it to my sister personally once she enters college. It's her last year of high school. That wasn't good enough for them. They kept saying, they need the money, but won't even specify what the money would be for. I still didn't budge. A week passed and they still didn't stop bugging me, calling me ungrateful to them as a parent and so on and so forth. Even asking my girlfriend to have her talk to me about giving them the money. Edit. Wow, okay. I didn't really think that this would get this much attention. I really just want to vent off some steam by sharing this. Thanks for the advices, Reddit Silver, Gold and Platinum. And our next story was posted by user That One Random Duck, titled, I Am the CEO. Bear with me here, people. I'm on mobile. About a year ago, I was running a small video game tournament in the small company that I owned. The waitlist had a full list of 16 people, and it was fine until one person ruined it for all. Entitled parent is, take a guess. Entitled kid, care. And me, Lamau. So, we were starting up the games when a dad ran into the store with his son. The entitled parent says, we're here for the tournament. So I say back to them, oh, sorry, but the list is full. Well then, make some room. Oh, I can't do that, listen. I can get you fired with the push of a button. How? I've been friends with the CEO of this company for a long time. Then call him. I watch him make a fake phone call and then hang up. He says you're fired. Huh, that's funny considering I am the CEO. The entitled parent's look of shock still makes me laugh to this day. And our next story was posted by user One Big Fluffy Pillow, titled, Entitled parent says, wake your kid up so my boy can have her toy. Note, I'm German so this is translated. This also happened a month back and I'm recalling the events. Long story, bear with me, you will be shaking your heads. I'm a 21-year-old female babysitter and I have this girl, let's call her Mia, whom I watch at least once a week, plus whenever the parents ask me to help out. Mia is 8 now, and I started babysitting her when she was 4 months old. Yes, I was 14 at the time. The family is great, and Mia is a really easy kid. We're like sisters. I never rose my rate, so keep in mind that I've been working for €150 an hour, about $1.70 per hour, for roughly 8 years, and could expect €20 or $24, a gift card for both my birthday and Christmas. I'm a babysitter for fun, not for money, and I'm true to that. What I earn just about covers expenses. I have an actual job that's paying for my life after all. When Mia is with me for an entire Saturday, we go on day trips. She loves shopping and sightseeing, so I mostly take her around the bigger cities. This is where the story starts. We're on the bus an hour drive to the next biggest city. Taking the car meant stress for me as I don't like driving, and the train was more expensive. Though both would have been a 30 to 40 minute ride. Mia and I like to go by bus. This private company has perks. On this particular day, I paid €10, around $12 for a return ticket. Mia, being under 10 years old, went for free. Plus, they wait for you on the way back, but causing delays results in fees. Anyway, we're on the bus, and per usual, I bought my old Nintendo DSi for her to play with. I can do whatever, she plays happily. It's a win-win. Until this entitled mother and her 10-year-old boy come along. They take the seats right behind ours. No problem, right? Wrong. It doesn't take long for the boy to notice the console and the racing game Mia was somewhat fixed on. So the boy says to the entitled mother, "Mom, I want to play!" "Well, go ahead." I thought he would like to get our attention and ask nicely. Nope. The boy jumps up from his seat, reaches over Mia's lean, and tries to snatch the game from above. He gets hold of it for a moment, but the hand strap stops him. I made sure Mia's wrist was fine and the game not broken from the rough move, then I turn around, stopping the boy from another attempt. "Young man, that wasn't nice. He just wants to play, let him play too. Teach your child to ask properly and I'll consider. Don't tell me how to parent, kid." "Mom, I want the game!" "In a minute, sweetie." "No, it's not yours and I'm asking you nicely to leave us alone." I sit back down, hoping to have heard the end of it. Way wrong. Mia's seat shakes a few times. The boy is kicking her seat. She asks him to stop. He continues. I warned the mum that I would tell the drivers. There are always two on one bus, just in case. "He's bored. Give him the game and he'll stop." I immediately get up, quickly help Mia change into another row, and then go to the front to explain the situation when I heard Mia yelling, "Let go!" I turn around. This boy had one hand on the game and the other pulling her hair. The entitled mother is smirking in satisfaction as the boy rips the hand sling off Mia and returns into his seat, holding the game. I immediately storm at him and grab it back without a word. He starts crying and screaming loudly. I don't care. It's 8 a.m. This is supposed to be a happy girl's day out. Now, I had Mia in tears and a bratty son with his entitled mum on my hands. "You give that back right now, my son was playing it!" Bus driver, too, comes to our rescue, practically pushed the woman and her son into the last row, asking us to take seats up the front to separate us as far as possible. Entitled mother was advised to use some common sense and that this was not her game, and thus not hers to decide over. I didn't quite listen anymore, but heard something along the lines of, "My son only wanted to try the game. These girls were unfairly rude to him. I demand an apology." I hide my hand and give her the finger, not that the entitled mother could see. Mia snickers. Whoops, my bad. Mia saw, but Mia was already smiling and starting the game again. Fast forward to the end of a successful shopping spree. We were signed for the last bus back, 7 p.m. departure and 10 minutes early. I let Mia choose the seats, as per usual, pretty much up front. There were 2 other couples waiting already and a third arriving with us. All seemed fine until the driver, I noticed it was the same drivers again, announced that we couldn't leave. 2 people were missing, but they would call them to either hurry the bus up or decline their seats. It would just be a few more minutes. Or not. We had to wait for them. Company policy. 7:35 p.m, my nightmare comes true. Entitled mother and son walk up to the bus, not hurrying at all. Ice cream cones in hand. No messy food on the bus. They have to finish outside. Again, not hurrying in any way. 7:45 p.m. Head count. We can finally drive back. Everyone on board is annoyed by the delay. Entitled mum and son probably took the seats in the other aisle, yet right behind us, on purpose, but I wasn't going to say anything yet. Lesson learned, I hoped. Bus driver 2 was driving now. Driver 1 comes up to the mum and says to her, "Look, ma'am, sorry to bother you, but you caused a 45-minute delay, and according to our terms and conditions, the company will fine you for that."
Fine me? What, for a few minutes? No way! I was told there would be a ride home waiting for us, and that's it. I'm sorry, but you knew beforehand. It's in our T's and C's. No one told me that. You agreed to it, ma'am. The company will mail you everything. I need your ID, please. No! I'm afraid I'll have to involve police then.
And he goes back into his seat. The boy shows up next to me.
I want that game! I told you no this morning, and it's still no.
He pulls a sad face but goes back to his mum. It's semi-dark outside. Mia is lying spread over her seat and my lap. Not that I cared. She was tired and I expected her to fall asleep while playing, and she did, face buried in my jacket, that she had folded into a pillow on my lap. I turned the game off, but with this sling on Mia's wrist, I can't put it away. Entitled Mother suddenly hovers above me.
She's done playing. So, my son can play now.
No, he can't. It's my game.
Come on, just give it to him. He wants it, and you're too old for it anyway.
I don't care. It's my game. I said no, so please leave me alone now.
What gives you the right?
She's practically yelling. I'm worried she might wake Mia up, and that I could end up with a cranky, tired child. I own it. Do me a favor and don't wake her up.
She's asleep. She doesn't need the game now.
Ma'am, the game is tied to her wrist. I would have to wake her to get it. And in any way, I would be playing then. Not your son. It's my game, and if I have to tell you again, I will ask the drivers for help. You know I'll do it. Driver 1 turns around to us, giving her a stern look. I figured that he was listening. Entitled Mother and son moved a few rows back. I thought she was defeated, and again I was wrong. A few minutes later, I was occupied with my phone, texting back and forth with a friend. I wasn't paying attention to anything else, but watching Mia didn't fall off the seats whenever she moved. I didn't think much of the tiny hand to my leg at first, since Mia's left arm was somewhere around there. Then Mia shoots up with an eardrum-shattering scream. I nearly dropped my phone in shock. There is this boy right between my legs. He had crawled up under our seats from behind to come up and probably try to snatch the game. That was his hand on my leg, and Mia had woken up to him staring right into her face, mere centimeters away. The driver was cool enough not to cause an accident due to the scream, but stopped the bus as soon as he could. Both drivers were furious. The boy was crying. Entitled Mother is screaming at Mia and I for making him cry, all while I'm unable to grasp the situation for a moment, holding the shaking 8-year-old. A man from the other couple gets up and manages to somehow silence the situation entirely. Entitled Mother says,
"This selfish girl scared my baby. She purposely screamed right in his face."
"Ma'am, why was your son underneath her seat?"
"I want this girl off the bus now."
DT, driver 2, comes up and says, "Ma'am, please answer the question. Why wasn't your son seated?"
"He's a good child. He can do whatever he wants."
The boy in tears says, "I won the game, Mommy." Entitled Mother says to me,
"You owe my child that game now, bitch."
I ignored the insult. I had to calm Mia. Trying not to explode in anger myself, I was so mad that I wanted to punch something. The boy tried to reach for the game again. I had had it with him. Admittedly, I didn't want to push him away as hard as I did, and I know I shouldn't have pushed him back at all. But since he only fell against his mother, I couldn't have cared less. I got up, face bright red, taking deep breaths as to not completely lose it. "You listen here, kid. Don't you dare touch us or our game again. You hurt my baby. You better be glad he's underage, ma'am. Otherwise, he'd be facing charges now. Multiple attempts to steal my game, for starters. And the way he crawled up beneath us, I could have probably made a sexual assault claim out of that. Also, Child Protective Services would be very interested to learn that you've encouraged your son." Yes, I could have done that with him underage, but let's be honest. He was probably the victim of this woman's miserable parental guidance. And I wasn't going to ruin his life, more though then. And there I very much wanted to. The entitled mother says to me,
You have no right to talk to me like that, you brat. You made my baby cry. You owe him that game now. He deserves it. He is a good kid.
She wanted to get past me herself now. Behind me, Mia still had the game. I didn't care for the game itself anymore, but she would probably hurt Mia trying to take it. Now, I'm 5'9" and roughly 70 kilos. I'm one straight noodle, and I really don't look like much, but I'm the only girl on an all-male rugby team. I take on bigger guys and older than her, and Mia knows that. She's seen me play. Mia says to me,
"Do your trick."
My trick? I can throw people over out of a stand pretty bad. That's my standard move. But I couldn't do that now. I had already overreacted pushing the boy. Both drivers and the man held the woman back. She was screaming and thrashing around, throwing punches and insults all over while demanding I gave her son that game. The two other men came to help taming her. It took a while until she gave in and sat down. Finally, I thought once more we could get home. I had already told Mia's mum that we would be back late due to the delay, but nothing more since our departure. So, I have Mia huddled over the seats again, shaking but sunken into the game again, and I take my phone out to let her mum know now that we would be even later. That's when I hear the entitled mother whisper into her phone. She's obviously telling police some story about a stolen toy, child abuse, being threatened and cornered by several men, and being too scared to ask for an early drop-off somewhere around. She was absolutely exaggerating and presenting her own twisted version of the story. I asked Mia to let me up and I go to tell the drivers. They look mortified to say the least, and contacted police and their office themselves as well. Now, I had to type that out for Mia's mum as short as possible. I didn't want her to freak out about police at the drop-offs, since she was coming to pick us up. Fast forward 45 minutes later. 8 cops are waiting for us, an ambulance, Mia's mum who seemed to have introduced herself to the police already along with some elderly man, who was there to pick up one of the couples. Mia is happy again, which I was overly thankful for. I was scared dead for this to have some traumatic impact on her. It could have been partly my fault for exploding. She had never really been in trouble, hence had never seen me mad. Mia runs up to her mum. I follow with our shopping bag. Entitled mother and son are questioned separately in the ambulance. The rest of us has to answer questions as well. The driver backs us up with the bus surveillance cameras. Entitled mother is busted. Both she and her child are banned to ride with the company. She faces charges for a handful of things, encouraging her son to theft, false accusations, and attacking me among them. At home, Mia proudly presented her new fabrics. I have a sewing machine which we would work on rainy days, and shirts, all within the shopping money her mum gave her for the day. I pay for myself. In the end, I got off with a warning for pushing the boy. Entitled mother pressed charges that were dropped due to the circumstances. The judge figured I was protecting Mia and my property in a heated situation, and that the boy's prior actions had made it necessary for me to step in. Entitled mother was fined for the entire delay she and her son had caused, which was 1 hour and 18 minutes total, was ordered to accept family assistance and child protective services were to look over the family situation as well. Mia wasn't affected in any way. Mia's mother was quite understanding and doubled my Christmas gift card. I guess it was somewhat an apology or a thanks. She said it was because I risked charges to protect her daughter and taught her to stand up and be strong. This weekend, we went on another trip. Boarding the bus heading out, I see a boy in line who looks oddly familiar, but the man at his side does not. I forget about it, we drive off. Mia smiles widely as I pull the DSi game from my handbag. 2 minutes later, the boy. The bloody boy.
Give me that!
Me, unsure if it really is him. How do you ask for things that aren't yours, young man?
I want that game now!
No, sorry, too rude. Go mind your manners, please.
Dad, she won't give it to me again.
This bulky man gets up from his seat. To my luck, one of the drivers is driver 2 from the month before. He recognizes the boy and me, and he says, "Young man, I need to see your ID, please. Where's your parents?" And the father says, My son only asked to try the game, sir. Yep, and that's why he got banned last month. You have to get off this bus, or I'll have to call the police. The father says, I bought the tickets for this. I have the right to drive. The police were called straight away. We stopped. The father got arrested for resisting police and fraud. Turns out both he and his son had signed in under fake names. Also, his son was 11 years old by now and needed a ticket, but was signed in as 10 years old and didn't have one. Driver 2 came with me to apologize and to see how we were doing. I told him no apology was necessary. I wasn't sure about the boy myself first. I thanked him for resolving the situation immediately. There were a few more kids on the bus this time, and Mia took over the last row with 3 other kids, sharing the game, taking turns. They had no trouble at all the entire ride through, and I exchanged contacts with their parents. We're going to meet up in a funhouse next week. Friends were made. That is how easy it can be. Honestly though, even on the second ride, had the boy asked nicely, I would have left the choice to Mia whether or not she wanted to share. After all, it could have been an opportunity to make a friend, and people deserve second chances if you ask me. But no, they felt like he had the right to have my game because he simply wanted it. He was rude, the parents were worse. I have no bad feelings for getting them kicked off the bus. However, I feel bad for the boy. It wasn't exactly his fault if he didn't know any better. That's the end of the episode, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, links for my Instagram, Patreon, Discord, and Twitter are in the description below. If there's anything you guys would like to see, be sure to hit me up in the comments below or in any of the social media platforms. As always, guys, have a great day. Bye.